Let's take a look at the next strategy. We call it stop the pestering.
All right, stop the pestering.
The pestering.
Okay. Now, but what do you mean by pestering?
Most salespeople spend too much time chasing people who aren't going to buy anything.
But isn't that what you're supposed to do? Go
Of
after them
course.
9 times, get 9 no's
Of
before
course.
you, and then they're going to give you the order?
Oh, that's old school, right?
Absolutely.
Here's one. We asked these several thousand decision makers this question. Do you consider persistence to be a desirable trait for salespeople to have?
What did they say?
74% said no.
So does that kind of mean the customer's thinking, if I want them, I know what the number is, I know what their website is, I can go there, they don't have to keep checking in with me?
Here's the bottom line. You pursue somebody too hard in a business-to-business environment, they see you as being desperate.
Ah.
And you totally misposition yourself.
Sure.
So under the guise of touching base, they sink their decision makers, they sink their teeth into decision makers' legs.
Absolutely.
And they don't let go until they, just calling to touch base.
Yes, right. About what?
About what? To
Yeah.
find out if there's hot or cold or what's going on.
Sure.
In the meantime, you got 10,000 prospects running around that you're not talking to.
Absolutely.
Bottom line is decision makers, no matter what you sell, always do what we call vote with their bodies.
What do you mean by that?
If they don't return your phone calls, if they don't get back to you when they promise to do it, if they generally keep you out of their face, they're trying to tell you something.
So they're not putting any skin in the game whatsoever. You say, why don't you check these facts out and I'll see how they apply to us fixed.
They're saying, I don't want to, I'm not, right now I'm not titillated, I'm not intrigued.
Okay.
And so what happens is, what have we been taught to do? Stay after them,
Absolutely.
stay after them,
You got to say
stay
nine. You got to say
after
no
them.
9 times.
Yeah, and I'm going to suggest to you that that's not really the way it works.
Okay.
Persistence is little more than the symptom of a desperate need to find out what's going on when all the evidence tells you, Mike, there's nothing going on.
Fair enough. But you can persist if you have the correct information and you're persisting for the right reasons.
Yes.
Then they've got all the time in the world to listen to you. But just checking in.
Checking in. Now, I'm going to give you some ideas relative to when is it time to write somebody off.
I'd like to know that, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because, let's be fair. We've got an audience of sales managers here, and they're paying attention. Are you doing what needs to be done? Are you handling the objections? Are you closing the right percentage of people? Are we doing good margin business? But as a sales manager, I want to know, did the guy quit too soon? By guy, I mean ladies or gentlemen. Did they quit? Did the salesperson quit too soon?
Yeah.
How do I feel good about, okay, you made the right decision to move on, or you just don't know how to ask for the order?
This is one particular circumstance where I'm going to suggest we might get some mail. You say, oh, you're full of hot air.
Absolutely.
I've done this for years. Okay, and I've been selling for almost 35 years.
Sure.
First, here are some of the indicators to look for that tell you when it's time for you to leave.
Okay. The
One,
fish are cut bait.
Yeah. You leave 3 unreturned messages.
Within what period of time?
Depends on what you're selling. It could
Okay.
be, could be a 3-week period, could be a month
Sure.
period. For some people it's 3 and 3 days. I mean,
Fair enough.
The bottom line is, if it's 3, what are they telling you?
They don't want to bother with you.
At
They don't
least
have the time.
now.
Fair enough.
See, then you need to have some sort of methodology where you automatically, perhaps even digitally, stay in touch with them, but it doesn't take your effort, and give them a chance to respond to whatever it is that you do.
Right.
Okay?
But you're not spending your
You're
time.
not spending
that can be
your
spent
time.
on better opportunities.
The second one is 2 promises to, quote, make a decision
Okay.
are broken. We're going to have a decision for you on Tuesday. No, we're going to have a decision for you on Thursday. At that point in time, guess what they're doing?
They're stalling you.
They're stonewalling you. Here's the third. After 2 prompts from you, the decision maker still hasn't reviewed that important document that they had to have.
Okay.
I've got to have this tomorrow. So
because I need to shop your price because I'm going to give
Yeah.
it to my normal vendor.
So there are 2 prompts from you.
Sure.
And they still haven't reviewed it. What does that tell you?
Absolutely.
Here's one. The decision maker suddenly decides
Yeah.
that he or she needs to get a presentation from an additional source
Right.
before making a decision.
Absolutely. Just to cover their bases. Yeah.
You were eyewash.
Right.
Here's another one. Back-breaking concessions are requested. For example, an excessive discount.
So if you're dumb enough to do this, I guess I'll just plain do business with
Yeah,
you.
and here's
but I'm
the-
going to make it absolutely absurd.
And a lot of our viewers are familiar with our work that we do with lower price competition. And sales is not always about volume. It's about margin.
Very true.
The next, despite this decision maker's announced desire to have an important meeting with you,
Yeah.
they keep avoiding it, and it never seems to find its way on their calendar.
It's not important enough for them yet.
Yes.
Or may never be.
Or at all.
Right.
So give them a break, walk away, have some kind of methodology to stay in touch, but don't be pestering them.
Okay. Because it's hard for people to say no.
Yeah.
They don't really want to do it.
You know,
You're bothering me. You're
our
a pest.
sales force has often said, I'd rather have somebody tell me no, and at least I know.
Exactly, yeah.
So what happens, these are signs that say they're trying to tell you no, but they don't know how to tell you no, and they don't want to.
Right.
In other words, any other unnecessary or unreasonable delay or obstacle gets thrown in your way.
Okay, so that could be all of a sudden, we got a new computer system, so I can't look at this right now.
Yes. You know what you find in many cases? They never had the juice to make the decision in the first place. You were talking to the wrong person.
Absolutely. And they are too cowardly to let you know that they're not the decision maker.
Yes.
Or maybe they like the lunches you were taking them out to.
Yeah. And so what happens, bottom line to it is, you blew it up front.